So in this video, we're going to have a look at the field lines, what you want to do in terms of batting, boxes, strike zones. There's lots of things that we're going to cover in this video and lots of words I'm using now that you might not be familiar with. But looking at from a bird's eye view on a softball pitch, it looks something like this. And the most important place for your batting team is this one here. And this one here is called home plate. And usually it's just called the plate, but home plate is its official name. And going round, you go round anti-clockwise, starting from home plate. And this one here is called first base. Any guesses at this one? Second base? And absolutely no prizes for guessing this one is called third base. Very original. And your task as a batter is to navigate all the way round this board. First to second to third and then back home. If you manage to get back home and touch home plate, you should score a run for your team. There are instances where it won't happen and we'll understand that later on. But if you get all the way around, that's the aim of the game. But there are some other field lines. At home plate is the corner of the field and you will stand in one of two boxes. So when you come up to bat, you will have a bat in your hand and you will stand in probably this box here because you'll be right-handed and you'll stand with a bat in your hand and you'll swing that way. If you're left-handed, you'll stand in this box with the bat in your hand and you'll hit like that. So the two boxes here are just for right-handers and for left-handers. These two lines here that emanate away from the plate are called foul ball lines. So everything inside the foul ball lines is fair. So all this region here is fair, all this region here is fair, there is fair. However, if the ball lands in this region here, on the other side of the foul ball lines, the ball is considered to be a foul ball. If you're batting, you cannot run. Any runners that are on base cannot run. So as a batting team, you cannot do anything. The umpire will call foul ball, throw his hands up in the air, and everybody will have to retreat back. Because generally what happens is as soon as the ball is hit, people start to run around the bases. But if it lands here, you'll hear the umpire call foul ball. And if you're on the base, you'll have to go back to where you started from. And if you're a batter, you probably started running all the way to first base. You'll have to come back, pick up the bat, and have another go. However, if you are fielding, you can still catch the ball. So in most bat and ball games, if you catch the ball when the ball has been hit, the batter will be out and you'll get one of the three outs that you're looking for as a fielding team. So the foul ball line is good for the fielding team because you can still catch the ball. So you can still wander over the foul ball line and catch it. However, there should also be a second line some distance away, parallel to the foul ball line. And this one is called, if I could spell, the dead ball line. Terrible at writing at that angle. So if the ball lands over the dead ball line, it is completely irrelevant to either side. The ball will be called dead. Everybody has to go back to where they started from. Even if the fielding side catch it over here, it's not considered an out. Okay, this sort of simulates if you watch baseball, this somewhat simulates where the stadium would stand. So this ball goes into the crowd. So this ball is considered dead. However, as a batter, you would still be charged with a strike, and we'll go over that later on. So there's two field lines. There's a foul ball line and a dead ball line. There's also two lines here, which may or may not be marked onto the pitch. So if you're working on a grass pitch, these lines should be here. However, they don't necessarily have to be there. The second base will be somewhere over here, equidistant from first and third. But normally this is marked out with a white field line. It's black on our thing here. So when you're batting, you will step up to the box. Okay, left-handers will go on the right-hand side, and the right-handers will go on the left-hand side. There are lots of space out here, and if you are fielding, you can actually field wherever you want. There is no limitations to where you can stand in the field. However, over hundreds of years of play, they tend to be set positions where you will be asked to play. So first base is around here. So there'll be a fielder generally around here, and he'll be called the first baseman. Second base is around here. You'll need somebody to look after second base, and second base will field roughly about here. Third base needs somebody to look after it, and you end up with somebody called third baseman around about here. There is another position as well which goes about here, because second base, does he stand there or stand there? But actually you get a shortstop, or SS. Okay, shortstop goes about here. The reason it's called shortstop is because really you could go anywhere on the field. With most people being right-handed, when they hit the ball, most people tend to hit it in this direction. So this is the most common direction for the ball to travel. So shortstop is generally that. Wants to stop the ball and it comes short, so shortstop. So there's generally a symmetrical infield. So these fielders here are generally called the infielders. If I could spell again. First baseman, second baseman, third baseman, and shortstop. Of course, we're also forgetting somebody to actually pitch the ball. And we'll also have what's probably better known in England as a backstop. But in softball and baseball terminology, it is called a catcher. However, hopefully, as a batter, you're wanting to get the ball further afield, further out into this region here. And then you're talking about people who will play and field in the outfield. So in terms of cricket, if you follow your cricket, these people here will be the bowler and the wicket keeper. These people might be the slips, or the people playing close into the batter. And you will then have 4 outfielders. So there's 10 people in the sport. You'll have left field playing in left field. So this all is called from the point of view of the batter. So when you are batting, left field is to your left. Right field will be to your right. And you'll have 2 centre fielders, originally called left centre field and right centre field. However, and confusingly, if you are fielding, the field will look like this, because you're looking at the batter. So left field will, to the fielding side, look like right field. However, you are still in left field. All the positions are named from the point of view, pardon me, of the batter. Now notice that there are 10 players on each side. And remember, in softball, you have 5 men and 5 women. Now, certain positions in the sport are and will get a lot more action than others. The pitcher will be a very, very specialised position. You have to be a good pitcher, and you have to have a team with a good pitcher really to stand any chance of winning. If your pitcher is all over the place, walks a lot of people, not very good, gives a lot of hits, then you're going to struggle as a team. However, we have 2 players here, the pitcher and the catcher. One of them must be a man, one of them must be a woman. Generally, you get more teams with male pitchers, so you have a female catcher. However, and it's becoming more and more common now in the Solent League, you have a female pitcher, so you have to have a male catcher. In the infield, you have 4 players, first, second, third, and shortstop. 4 players, equally distributed, so you have to have 2 females and 2 men. And in the outfield, you have 4 outfielders, so again, you have to have 2 men and 2 women. So basically, you can't have all the men in the infield and all the women in the outfield, or vice versa. So really, you have to spread people around. So let's have a look at pitching and the strike zone. The reason slow pitch is called slow pitch is that the pitcher must throw the ball underarm and the ball must travel in an arc above 6 feet but below 12 feet to the batter. Once that is done, the pitcher is hoping that the ball travels through what's called the strike zone. If the ball travels through the strike zone, then the umpire will call a strike. If the ball doesn't travel through the strike zone, the umpire will call a no ball or just simply ball. The strike zone is an imaginary box that sits above home plate. When you step up to bat, the umpire will imagine an imaginary box starting above home plate, being the width of home plate, starting at your knee and ending at your shoulders. If you swing the bat, the umpire doesn't have to make any call whatsoever, he'll simply call strike. Hopefully you've made contact with it and people are running. So swinging the bat at a ball is not a good idea because a strike will be called anyway. If you don't swing the bat, then the umpire's got to make a decision. Did the ball travel through the strike zone? If yes, it's a strike. If not, it's a ball. So how many strikes do you have? As a batter, unsurprisingly, you might have heard the phrase 3 strikes and you're out. So you get 3 strikes. If you don't swing the bat and the pitcher cannot give you 3 balls to hit, so 3 balls going through the strike zone, then you will get a walk and you will be permitted to walk to a base, depending whether you're a man or a woman. Now, due to men and women playing the sport at the same time, you'll see lots of various different nuances depending on whether it's a man or a woman at the plate. So here we have the 2 balls. So if you're a man, you'll be pitched this ball here. It's bigger and it's heavier. So bigger, I think, is a bit easier to hit because it's a bit heavy, a bit bigger, but it's heavier so it doesn't go as far. This is the woman's ball, so women would pitch this one. It's smaller, so it's probably less easy to hit, but it's lighter, so it will go further. Also on bases, if you are awarded a base, so you get to 4 no balls thrown by the pitcher, as a woman, you will go to first base. But if you get a ball and you're a man batting, you will go to second base. Generally, this is to get over the sportsmanship of a pitcher, what's called intentionally walking. So generally, and this is just a general thing, it's more likely that the men are going to be bigger hitters who can probably hit further than the women on your team. And that's not always the case. I've certainly played on teams that have female hitters that are probably much better than the men. However, to get over the sportsmanship, the pitcher may just throw 4 balls straight away. So to stop a bigger hitter just hitting, then they just give them a base. It's worth giving a batter a walk than having them hit a long distance and having to run after and have to field it. So to stop that and give the batter a little bit of an advantage, a man will go to second base, whereas a female hitter will only go to first. So a male hitter, so a male walk will go to second, but a female walk will only go to first.